I've been doing a lot of building recently, so I've got another speed build for you today in The Sims. Shocking, I know, I bet you didn't see that coming. But this time, it's townhouses. The idea was just to build 3 houses all in a row on the same lot. Townhouses, terraced houses, row houses, you know, whatever you want to call them. There's 3 attached houses here on this lot, and they're all kind of the same, just like flipped a little bit. Initially, I was looking at a lot of like British townhouses, trying to get some inspo pics, but I ended up going with just townhouses out of my own brain at the end. So the finished product is 3 unfortunately empty houses all on the same lot, all kind of similar but with their own little vibes. They have different front doors and different windows and different color schemes, and they're basically just 3 long, skinny, tall houses. Now, they're functional in-game. If you wanted to play in these, you totally could. The only thing is, the game sees this as being just 1 house. Obviously, we know and we can tell that it's 3, and we sort of intend to play with it that way, but the game's gonna think this is just 1 home. So you won't have neighbors in these houses that aren't like a part of your household. If you chose to just live in like the left one, you're not gonna have Sims living in the right side. The way to play in houses like this is more like, you know, maybe you've got 2 sisters and you want to have each of them live in their own house but be next door neighbors. You could have both the sisters, maybe their partners and their kid, living in the houses, and you could pretend that one of them belongs to one sister and the next door one's the other sister's house, and you can kind of play with them that way. But again, it takes some pretending on your part. I guess technically you could probably have some roommates as well if you wanted to use the roommate system and just like lock the doors, but I find the roommate system in The Sims 4 doesn't work that well. It's like kind of glitchy, although I suppose that would probably work for this too. It's unfortunate because back in the day, like in The Sims 3, you could build something like this and then there was room markers to like set the other places as like somebody else's apartment, and they would actually live there. So you could like just live in the middle one and then block off the other 2, and then it would be fine and function like a real apartment. But unfortunately, The Sims 4 is not like that. We can't build our own real apartments. You can pretend though, like we're doing today. I won't lie, I am extremely proud of how these buildings turned out. I think I might do like a little mini series with these houses, because in this video, full transparency, we just do the exteriors. We did not start with the insides of these houses. It took me so long just to build the shape of the houses. It was like 3 hours just to do the exterior. So to do then 3 separate interiors is gonna take me a while. So I'm thinking if you like these houses, we might do like another video doing one of them and then one more doing the middle one, and then, you know, get through all of them. So I guess it would be like 4 videos on these townhouses, but each of them is going to be super different. I kind of have a different vision for each house. They're different sizes, they have different color schemes, they're in various states of renovation, because in my mind, and I guess in real life too, these things would have all been built at the same time, but over the years they would have been renovated completely separately. So one might have like a way more modern interior now, but it used to have the same as the other ones, and I just love the vibes of that. I love townhouses. I mean, I currently live in a townhouse, not a pretty one like this. The one that I live in is sad and ugly. I can say that with confidence. I won't show you because I'm not trying to dox myself, but believe me when I say it, sad and ugly. These are beautiful. This is not like what it's like in real life where I live. I just love the idea of them each being so different as well. It's kind of cute. One other small disclaimer, this house is backwards right now. I'm building it backwards because this lot has kind of weird lighting. I always do this for speed builds because I'm spending so much time looking at the front of the house and like trying to decorate the front of the house. It's sad when it's in shadows the whole time for a video, but the back of the house gets way better lighting. So I built the house backwards so that I could spend the whole time looking at the front, but in the back with better lighting, and then we flip it back around at the end of the video. So just in case you get confused, like why is she rotating the lot? Why is it backwards? I know it's backwards. It's on purpose, and it's just temporary so the video looks less ugly. I also had a ton of fun decorating like the individual yards for each of these houses because they each have their own separate front and back gardens, and they're kind of cute and fenced in, and so I wanted to make them each kind of like unique in that way. So you'll see at the end of the video, I spent a very long time decorating their backyards. One's got a pool, one's got a hot tub, there's a garden. One of them's like more of a family house, so I tried to put like some more kids stuff in the backyard. I don't know, I just really enjoyed like envisioning which Sims might live here and then trying to fit it in for them. So to walk you through it, that house on the left is what I'm calling like the more family house. That one has the most bedrooms, and so it ends up being like the more family friendly one in my mind. That middle house with the black and white windows, I'm thinking of it as being a little bit more renovated. The like black black trim is kind of trendy, so I was picturing it being a little bit more updated compared to the others. And then that last house, I was kind of picturing like maybe a couple, maybe like some elderly grandmas live there together and they've got a little garden and stuff. So I was just kind of trying to imagine like all of these different types of Sims that might live here and like what would they have in their yard? How would they landscape? What are their interests? But I haven't even furnished the houses yet. Granted, I am going to furnish the houses. We're gonna make videos doing that. We're just starting the process right now. The other weird thing about these houses, because they're townhouses, I didn't put any windows on the sides of the building. I guess maybe in real life, the end units might have windows on the side of the building, but also in real life, this would probably be longer. You might have like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them all in a row. Our lot is too small. And also it's not really practical to have that many on a lot for a Sims build because you're not gonna need 8 of them to actually play in. Even 3 is kind of a stretch to play in. I feel like I'd be more likely to actually play in 2 at a time because if you've got like 8 Sims, that's just a lot in general. I mean, I guess maybe like the left house is like 2 parents and 2 kids, that's 4. The middle house is like a couple, the right house is a couple, all of a sudden you got 8 Sims. Nobody gets any pets, like that's just kind of sad. I feel like it's better to play with just 2 families at a time. You could do like the couple with their 2 kids and then you could have another couple with a dog or something and then it's a little bit more simple. You've got more room to grow, there's less going on. I did upload this to the gallery already if you want to download it. I know it's kind of fun to furnish stuff like this, so if you want to play in this house, I haven't finished it yet, so it's not like a finished ready to play product yet, but I did upload the like unfurnished but finished exterior version, so if you do want to play in it, you could like grab it and furnish it yourself off the gallery. I think when I play in this, I'm probably gonna just leave like the 2 other houses empty. I think I might like play with just 1 Sim at a time and then like delete the rest of the furniture in the other 2 houses because there's gonna be so much clutter in these places. To play with it all at once is gonna be kind of a lot. It's fun to envision, but it's maybe not so practical for The Sims 4, unfortunately. By the way, I know the fronts look weird right now. I was doing a lot of experimenting with like the sort of style that I wanted to go for with the different patios and different floor tile textures. I think we managed to get it together. I went for like a stone and gravel kind of combo. I feel like in a lot of houses like this in real life, you might have a parking space there, like where the gravel is. I mean, there wouldn't be as big of a fence. There'd be space to drive into it, but you might have like a single parking space there, which is kind of why I put the gravel. But also I just wanted it to be a different texture and then also kind of a fun like patio space to have some extra space outside. And you know, obviously it's The Sims 4, so we're not really in need of any parking spaces, are we? No, we are not. I'm trying to remember if this area of San Myshuno even gets cars. I think the whole space is walkable. Like, I don't think that there's cars that drive on these streets. There's a lot of areas in The Sims that have like pretend cars driving down them, which is kind of fun. It's kind of lively, but there's also a ton of like pedestrian areas. I'm pretty sure this whole thing is a pedestrian area, which honestly in real life is kind of nice. America especially could use some more pedestrian exclusive areas, but unfortunately the reason for it in The Sims is not to be like friendly to the area's residents. It's just because there's no cars. You know, I think about this often when it comes to cars in The Sims because I think a lot of us still kind of want cars in The Sims 4. I mean, I don't mean to speak for you, but I feel like a lot of us do still kind of desire cars in this game. A lot of times I think that I want cars still. I'll be thinking about like, oh, it'd be great to have a real garage, or like, it'd be great to teach my teens how to drive. Your Sims could woohoo in the car. I don't know, I'm just throwing out ideas. But also, so many of the lots in this game just don't make sense for cars. Like, the vast majority, in fact. There's so many that don't even touch the road. There's places like this that are completely pedestrian. There's no cars that drive here. So I feel like at this point, it's kind of too late to go back and add them. And I don't know if I really care that much. I've kind of gotten used to it. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts on that are though, because I know a lot of people still want cars. Trust me, I mean, it'd be fun to get them. I wouldn't be mad if we got them, but I don't know. I feel like it might be too late. I did say that before when toddlers came out though. Before we even had toddlers, I was like, oh, it's way too late. They're not gonna go back and add toddlers now. And they did go back and add toddlers. So maybe it's never actually too late, but it wasn't like toddlers didn't make sense in the game though, you know? Whereas cars would actually kind of not make sense in the game if they added them now. Toddlers still kind of fit in at the very least. The other 2 big updates that people kind of want are some sort of baby update to like free babies from the bassinet because they're stuck in the bassinet, and also a preteen update. I don't know if I care too much about preteens, like adding a life state in between child and teenager, because what would the difference be really between teens and preteens or children and teens? I would rather them like expand the child life state and give more things to kids, or like maybe do things to make the teens seem a little bit younger than adults versus adding a completely new life state. It seems like a little pointless to me. Again, I wouldn't be mad if they added it, but I also don't think I care that much about it. You know, it isn't like huge my priority list, but babies, if they did something to babies, I would be very pleased, because the babies right now obviously are just stuck in their little cribs. They can't really do much. Even just having like more cribs would be like good for me. I don't know. I just want more things for babies because they don't have a lot right now and it's kind of sad. I'm curious about your thoughts on that too, though. I would love to hear what you think about like possibly a baby update, preteens, any of that in the comments. Let's chat. People have really strong opinions about these things, so I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Anyway, the house is coming along a lot farther now. I got distracted. I wasn't talking about it. You can see that I've picked the fence finally. I've been adding in some trees and things to sort of fill in the area. I also switched the sides that two of the colors were on. I had the red and blue doors on like the opposite areas, but I swapped them. I don't remember why I did that. I think that I thought it would fit better. To be honest, I'm not sure. I probably had a good reason, but I don't really remember why I did that. Also, I streamed this build on Twitch. I built this live on stream. Oh, speaking of which, I can link like the full live stream then for you if you want to watch it back. I post all of my streams on YouTube after I'm done streaming them, but on my second channel called lilsimsie. So if you want to watch like the full build of this while I was actually doing it, you can. I'll link it for you. But the reason I pointed out is because somebody in my chat was like, ooh, it's red, white, and blue. And then I was like, oh no, I'm not trying to build like an America house. Hang on. That was not my intention. I just liked how the red door looked and how the blue door looked. Anyway, I hope that doesn't look red, white, and blue to you. I mean, one of the houses is black, but I did try and add in like some yellow flowers and stuff to hopefully lessen the effect. That was not my intention. I liked how the colors of the doors looked, so I wanted to use them. Those doors, by the way, are from Strangerville. The red and blue door are Strangerville, and the black door is from University. Strangerville and University actually have really good windows and doors. I think you wouldn't expect those packs to have like as good windows and doors as they do. They're both kind of weird and lacking in furniture. Like the University pack has good furniture, but it's like dorm furniture, not really things that you would use in a house like this. And Strangerville doesn't really have furniture at all. It's got like a bunch of weird like science lab stuff, and it has a couple things. There's a nice bookshelf and like a couple nice furniture pieces, but for the most part, they're more build focused. Like the more useful things to me come from build mode, not buy mode. While I'm chatting about my Twitch streams though, I want to throw out one thing. I'll stop afterward. I swear I won't keep plugging it, but I'm doing a big charity event for St. Jude on my Twitch stream this month. Every single day for the entire month of May, we are raising money for St. Jude on Twitch. Did the same thing the past couple years. Last year we raised $320,000 in May for St. Jude, so no pressure, but the bar is kind of high this year. I want to make sure we can at least like match what we did last year, you know? So I wanted to plug it for you all in case you wanted to drop by. Yesterday, I started over the 100 baby challenge. Like I'm proper gonna finish it as well. And today I'm gonna try that fire scenario that they added, the one where you have the unlucky chef who constantly starts fires. I think I'm gonna use my sim self and put her like in a cursed lot with terrible lot traits and then have her try and become a master chef while also constantly starting fires. It should be fun. I mean, it's always nice to watch your sim suffer, you know? So if you want to drop by, I'll have my Twitch channel linked down below and also like this fundraising page and stuff. I'm doing the backyards now in the build. You can see we furnished two of them. One, the black and white house, has like a hot tub, a grill, a table. It's got some lounge chairs. That house on the left, the granny house, has a cute little garden space full of gnomes. And then the last one, that house on the right, ends up having like some more kids stuff in it. I'm just obsessed with how much personality there is in the exteriors of these homes. Something about it is so fun to me. I really wish that we had the ability to make houses like this that actually function and were this close together. We are really lacking in the apartment, townhouse, like attached home kind of department in The Sims. I would love to see more things like this in this game. I'm really glad that with Eco Lifestyle they added some more apartments. It makes me feel confident that in the future we can get even more apartments. I was worried that after City Living we wouldn't get any more apartments ever, but I'm glad they tested those waters a little bit in the Eco Lifestyle pack because I would love to see more more apartments. I feel like the apartments in Eco Lifestyle are also super different from the ones in San Myshuno, so they don't really take away from each other. I think it's totally fine to add apartments in future packs. Like, it's not like it's a exclusive city living feature. I think like the whole city is the cool feature of this pack, so it'd be fine to like throw 1 or 2 apartment buildings, especially smaller ones that aren't like high rises, into other packs. Like if we had a generations pack and there was like a cute little world and there was like some small houses, some apartments, a couple mansions, that is my dream. That is what I want to see. Anyway, the build is almost done now, so I'll stop rambling in your ear. I think as soon as it's over with the speed build, we can pop into the game and I'll show you a tour, because it's always easier to see it like when you're actually looking in game versus looking at a speed build that keeps turning around. All in all, I am just so pleased with this house. I want to play in it so bad. I guess if we actually do that little mini series where I finish each of the furnished apartments, we could probably also make the Sims for it if you want. I mean, let me know if you're into that. I know I don't do a lot of like sim making on my channel, so if you would be into making some sort of Sims to fill into these houses, that would be kind of fun too. And with that, the build's over. So I built the house on this lot. It's called the Old Salt House. A lot of people in my chat didn't even know it existed, by the way. They were like, wait, there's a lot there? I guess for some reason, maybe it doesn't stand out super well, but yeah, there is a lot there. It's actually a house. It's about to be 3 houses. Do you see what I mean by bad lighting, by the way? Look at the gallery photo. It's all in shadows in every time of the day as well. And that is why I built it backwards. I had no choice. Look, always in shadow, no matter what. Anyway, I'm so pleased with these houses. I keep saying it, but I think it's so cute. This is the finished front of the building, the actual front of the building, by the way. You can see that in each front garden, I even tried to put some furniture. We have like a little plant pot. We've got a bike. This one has some chairs and some lemonade. This one has a little table and a grill. They had no space in their backyard, so I tried to put it in the front. We even had a gnome make its way out here. Oh, also, significant amount of packs in this house. I'm so sorry. I use so many packs. Even like this fence is from toddler stuff. They also each have their own mailbox. I put one like next to each door. I'm not sure how well those will function, but it looks cute. So we can worry about functionality later when I start furnishing. I also tried to, oh my God, oops. It looks like the house is messed up on the outside. My bad. There's always something. Anyway, I tried to put a lot of stuff around the building as well, like in the side yards and things. This is a mural your Sims can paint on the floor. I put a bench right here on the side because I thought like if you've got this kind of view, you need a spot to sit and enjoy it. So I did put a bench right there. We've got some picnic tables back here. We've got a dumpster. I put a basketball hoop. And then these are the 3 backyards. We have that one for, in my mind, the grannies and their gardening. We have that more like updated house. I love this space too. I think it's so cool. And then we have that little family home. They have a grill and they've got a soccer ball, a little toddler thing, a little toddler pool. And I even put floor plans inside of the houses. Obviously you could change these if you wanted to, but I just thought it would be nice to help out a little bit. I'll walk you through it. So in my mind, on this left house, you walk into this big hallway. This I was sort of picturing would be the living room. We've got a bathroom. This in my head was the dining room, and then we had a little kitchen back here. This one's a little bit older and like more closed off in my head. Upstairs, I managed to squeeze in 3 bedrooms. So in my head, there's 2 kids' rooms. They have a shared bathroom here, and then we also have like the parents' room and their bathroom. And I managed to sneak in, I didn't put a door to this yet, but I managed to sneak in a little ladder because there is an attic space, and this attic actually has windows. I think I might just furnish it as a storage room and not put anything up there, but there is room to expand if you desired. In this middle house, this one is in my head, like I said, a little bit more modern, so they've got a way bigger staircase, and it's all like black and white themed. This one has a completely open floor plan. I was kind of picturing that you would put like a dining table up in the front, maybe living room here, and then a big kitchen in the back over here. They also have a bathroom. And then upstairs, this one just has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, but they also have a ladder maybe to a storage room upstairs. There's no windows in here, so I probably wouldn't put like any actual living space. This final house on the right though, there's actually a proper window upstairs, so I made it into a loft. In this one, I thought there would be like a big living room here, maybe a small like galley kitchen here, and then a dining room in the back. They've got a staircase upstairs and 2 bedrooms up here, pretty big bedrooms as well, and a bathroom. And then they also have a functional 3rd floor that's kind of like a loft space and another bathroom. So maybe up here there could be like a playroom for the grandkids or like an office or something. It's definitely a weird shape, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of a fun feature. And I guess I mean, you could probably even steal a little bit of the other apartment. If you wanted like a little bit more space, you could probably steal from this area because they're not gonna use it. Anyway, that is the full tour of my unfurnished townhouses. I'll probably do the first interior this week. Maybe I'll put a poll on my community tab to ask like which one we should start with. And like I said, the unfurnished version is on my gallery if you wanted to download it and like start playing in it. With that, I will stop talking at you. I'm so sorry. These speed builds make me just ramble so much. If you like it, please subscribe though. I'm fun. At least I think so. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye everybody. And like I said, I'm doing a huge charity event on Twitch this week. Tomorrow, we're making a new shell challenge. I mean, I've just got fun stuff happening every single day. So if you want to go pop in, I'll link my Twitch channel and that charity thing down below.